I want you to think about your grandfather. I want you to picture him. Maybe he worked in a factory. Maybe he worked on a farm. Maybe he worked in a mine. He came home every day with dirt under his fingernails. His back ached. His hands were calloused. He was exhausted. He was the definition of hard work. Now answer this question. Was he a millionaire? The answer is almost certainly no. Now, look at a 19-year-old kid on the internet. He has never lifted anything heavier than a laptop. He has soft hands. He wakes up at 11 a.m. He writes a piece of code, or records a video, or builds a digital system. And while he sleeps, that system generates more money in a single night than your grandfather earned in a decade of blood, sweat, and tears. This reality makes you angry. It feels wrong. It feels unfair. It feels like a glitch in the matrix. You were raised on a specific promise. If you work hard, you will be rewarded. You were told that struggle is noble. That sweat is the currency of success. I am here to tell you that the currency has changed. The market has stopped accepting your sweat. We have entered a new era where hard work, in the traditional sense, is no longer the path to wealth. In fact, it is often the path to an early grave. The rules of the game have been rewritten, but you are still playing by the rulebook of 1950. You are trying to dig a hole with a spoon while standing next to an excavator. And until you understand why labor has died and leverage has taken the throne, you will work until you die, wondering why the reward never came. The industrial hangover. To understand why you are trapped, we have to look at your programming. From the age of 5, you were trained to be a factory worker. Think about school. You sit in rows. You raise your hand to speak. You move when the bell rings. You are graded on your ability to follow instructions and repeat tasks. This system was designed in the 19th century by industrialists who needed obedient workers to man the assembly lines. They didn't need you to think. They needed you to do. They needed you to trade your time for their money in a linear, predictable exchange. This created a deep psychological association in your brain. Input equals output. If I move 10 boxes, I get paid $10. If I move 20 boxes, I get paid $20. If I want to make more money, I must move more boxes. This is the labor mindset. It is linear. It is limited by physics. It is limited by time. And for a long time, it worked. If you worked harder than the guy next to you, you got promoted. But then, the internet happened. The code happened. The algorithm happened. The connection between input and output was severed. Suddenly, a software engineer could write a program once, input, and it could be used by 1 billion people, output. Suddenly, a creator could make a video once, and it could be viewed by the entire planet. The input was finite. The output was infinite. This is where your brain breaks. You look at the person making millions with low effort, and you scream, "That's not fair! They aren't working hard!" You are judging them by the metrics of the factory. But we are no longer in the factory. We are in the cloud. And in the cloud, nobody cares how hard you work. They only care about the scale of your impact. The suffering fetish. There is a darker layer to this. We have a cultural fetish for suffering. We respect the person who is burnout. We respect the person who says, "I haven't slept in 2 days." We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor. Why? Because deep down, we believe that money must be painful to be deserved. This is the Puritan work ethic. It is the belief that ease is sinful and struggle is virtuous. If you make $10,000 in a way that felt easy, maybe you clicked a few buttons or made a smart investment, you feel guilty. You feel like an imposter. You feel like you got away with a crime. So what do? You self-sabotage. You get rid of the money. Or you invent busywork to make yourself suffer, just to justify the income. This is insanity. The wealthy do not have this complex. The wealthy understand that the goal of work is not to suffer. The goal of work is to solve problems. If you can solve a massive problem with zero effort, you deserve a massive reward. The market pays for the solution, not the struggle. If a locksmith opens your locked door in 10 seconds, do you pay him less because he didn't sweat? No. You pay him for the years he spent learning how to do it in 10 seconds. You are paying for his leverage, not his labor. You must kill the part of you that needs to bleed to feel worthy. That part of you is keeping you poor. The 4 levers of the new world. So if hard work is dead, what replaces it? The answer is leverage. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." In the financial world, leverage is the ability to disconnect your time from your money. It is the ability to lift 1,000 pounds with 1 pound of force. There are 4 forms of leverage. The old world had 2. The new world has added 2 more. And the new ones are where the billionaires are being made. Leverage type 1, labor. This is the oldest form. You hire people to work for you. If you have 10 people working for you, you have 10x the output. But this is messy. People are expensive. People complain. People need management. It requires permission and capital. Leverage type 2, capital. This is money working for you. Investments, factories, machinery. This is powerful, but it is gated. You need money to make money. It is an exclusive club. Leverage type 3, code. This is the new god. Code never sleeps. Code never complains. Code can be replicated 1,000,000 times for zero cost. If you build an app, a bot, or a website, you have an army of robots working for you 24/7. And the best part? It is permissionless. Nobody can stop you from learning to code. Leverage type 4, media. This is what you are consuming right now. Content. A video, a podcast, a book, a tweet. You record it once. It works for you forever. It scales infinitely. It costs almost nothing to reproduce. The shift that has occurred in the last 20 years is that the permissionless leverage, code and media, has become accessible to everyone. Your grandfather needed a bank loan to build a factory, capital leverage. You just need a smartphone to build a media empire, media leverage. The barrier to entry has collapsed, but the barrier in your mind is still standing. You are still trying to sell your labor when you should be building a lever. Judgment over grind. Here is the paradox of the leverage age. The more leverage you have, the less work you actually do. But the work you do becomes infinitely more dangerous. If you are a janitor, zero leverage. A mistake costs $10. You spill a bucket. You clean it up. If you are Warren Buffett, max leverage. A mistake costs $10 billion. Therefore, the skill set shifts. You stop getting paid for. Execution. You start getting paid for. Judgment. Naval Ravikant, the philosopher of modern wealth, puts it perfectly. In an age of infinite leverage, judgment is the most important skill. This is why the CEO gets paid 500 times more than the worker. Not because he works 500 times harder. That is physically impossible. But because one decision from the CEO, buy this company, launch this product, fire this division, swings the entire ship. The death of hard work is really the birth of high-stakes thinking. The wealthy spend their time reading, walking, thinking, sitting in silence. To the outside observer, they look lazy. They aren't moving boxes. They aren't sweating. But inside their mind, they are sharpening their judgment. They are waiting for the perfect opportunity to pull the lever. And when they pull it, they move the world. You are busy running around, answering emails, feeling productive. You are busy being busy. And because you are so busy, you have no time to think. And because you have no time to think, your judgment is poor. And because your judgment is poor, you stay broke. You have to stop viewing thinking time as wasted time. In the leverage economy, clarity is the only competitive advantage. The asymmetry of effort. Let's talk about the math of the new rules. It is called asymmetry. In the old world, labor, the relationship was 1:1. 1 hour in, 1 unit of value out. In the new world, leverage, the relationship is 1:1,000,000. Consider a software developer who spends 100 hours building a tool. If nobody downloads it, his return is 0. If 10 million people download it, his return is infinite. The effort was the same in both scenarios. The outcome was completely disconnected from the effort. This terrifies the average person. The average person wants a guarantee. If I work 40 hours, I want my paycheck. They want the floor. They want safety. But by demanding a floor, they also accept a ceiling. They accept that they will never make more than their hourly rate allows. The wealthy accept the risk of 0. They accept that they might work for a year and make nothing. But they play the game where, if it hits for millions. They hunt for asymmetric opportunities. They look for bets where the downside is capped. You lose your time. But the upside is uncapped. You change your life. If you are stuck in the hard work trap, you are likely avoiding asymmetry. You are choosing the comfortable misery of the paycheck over the terrifying potential of the payoff. You are optimizing for a guaranteed mediocrity. The digital landlord. I want to give you a metaphor that will change how you see the internet. Stop seeing the internet as a place to be entertained. Start seeing the internet as real estate. In the physical world, if you want to be rich, you buy land, you build an apartment complex, you rent it out. You do the work once, build the building, and you get paid forever, rent. That is leverage. The internet allows you to do this digitally, with 0 down payment. Every piece of content you create is a digital property. Every piece of code you write is a digital machine. Every product you list is a digital shelf. When you upload a YouTube video, you are building a little house. That house might get 10 views a month, but it sits there 24/7, waiting for tenants, viewers. And sometimes, the house gets 100,000 tenants, and the ad revenue is the rent. The hard worker shows up to the construction site every day to carry bricks for someone else. The smart worker builds a digital city that generates rent while he sleeps. You are currently a construction worker in the digital age. You are clicking, scrolling, commenting, and consuming. You are working for the algorithm. You need to become the landlord. You need to own the assets, not just consume the products. The shift is from consumer to producer. Consumers pay with their time and attention. Producers get paid in freedom. The identity crisis. Why is this transition so hard? Why, even after hearing this, will you likely go back to your busy work tomorrow? Because of identity. Your ego is wrapped up in your effort. If you stop suffering, you lose your sense of self. You have spent your whole life telling yourself, I am a hard worker. It is your defense mechanism. When you see someone richer than you comfort yourself by saying, yeah, but I work harder. I'm more honest. I'm more real. If you accept that hard work is no longer the metric of value, you lose your moral high ground. You have to admit that you have been playing the wrong game. You have to admit that the guy making millions on his laptop isn't lucky or lazy. He is just more effective than you. That hurts. That requires a death of the ego. It requires you to look in the mirror and say, my effort does not entitle me to anything. The universe owes you nothing for your sweat. The universe only pays for value. And value is no longer generated by your muscles. It is generated by your mind. You have to be willing to look lazy to your friends. You have to be willing to be misunderstood by your parents who still believe in the 9 to 5. You have to be willing to sit in a room and think until your brain bleeds, rather than numbing yourself with busy work. The conclusion. The funeral for hard work has already happened. You just didn't get the invite. The machines are here. The code is here. The leverage is here. You can continue to compete with the machines. You can continue to try to outwork the robot. You will lose. The robot doesn't sleep. The robot doesn't eat. The robot doesn't get tired. Or you can step off the assembly line. You can stop trying to be the machine and start being the pilot. The new rules of wealth are simple. Own equity. Use leverage. Build judgment. Detach time from money. It is scary. It feels unsafe. It requires you to abandon the comfort of the guaranteed paycheck, but the safety of the paycheck is an illusion. The turkey feels safest the day before Thanksgiving. You have a brain that is capable of infinite creativity. Don't use it to fill out spreadsheets for someone else. Don't use it to memorize instructions. Use it to build a lever. I want you to do something right now. I want you to audit your day. Look at the last 24 hours. How many of those hours were spent moving the needle with leverage? And how many were spent just sweating in the labor trap? If the answer scares you, good. That fear is the beginning of your freedom. If you are ready to stop digging holes and start building empires, if you are ready to leave the factory and enter the owner's box, subscribe to this channel. We are the school they never let you attend. We are the blueprint they never gave you. Click that button and let's start building your lever. I'll see you in the next video.